Hi, welcome to my deck profile for Pendulum. We're going to start off with Astrograph Sorcerer. It's a one of, it speaks for itself. I don't really draw it often. When a card is popped, you can summon it from hand. Then you search your deck and grab a card of the same name. Add that to your hand. Next, we're going to be running Monkeyboard. In the Pendulum Zone, it's just a search for Performapals. And then we have a bunch of one-ofs of Performapals. There's Sorcerer, Celestial Magician, Dissolver, Ladyange, and then 3 Skullcrobats. They're a generic searcher, so we run 3. The important part of Ladyange is what you want to do with her. She discards herself and one other Performapal to draw a card. So you're gonna want to dissolve Odd Eyes. You're gonna want to discard Odd Eyes Dissolver. That'll be a thing later. Celestial Magician's. She's good protection. She's okay. And Sorcerer is an extender. So next up we have the Magicians now. So we're gonna be running 2 Oafdragon Magician, 3 Purple Poison Magician. I absolutely love Purple Poison Magician. He has gotten me out of quite a few hard situations. When he's popped, you pop something, you know the drill. 2 Black Fang Magician. He's a high scale, so he's helpful. Then we're going to be running 3 Double Iris Magician. He searches your Pendulumgraph cards when he's destroyed. Next, 3 Wisdom Eye. They're basically 3 of any other pendulum scale in your deck. 2 Harmonizing. She's basically any of your synchros. Like you pendulum summon her, and she turns into any synchro monster or exceed monster in your extra deck. So that's pretty cool. Next, we have 2 Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. He's just a good old starter. You set him in scale, then you special him. That's all for the monsters, and then we're going to be moving to the spells now. So, we're going to be running 2 Desires. It's alright, you don't have to run them, I like it, but then we're going to be running 2 Duelist Alliance. It searches for pendulum cards. It's one of the few searches for searches for your pendulum graphs. 1 Instant Fusion, that's a surprise tool we'll see later. Called by the Grave because it's helpful. It comes up more than you'd think. Star Pendulumgraph, we're only running 1 of because it helps, but it's not necessarily what we're trying to do. And then for traps, 2 Time Pendulumgraphs because honestly I quite like them. Anytime I get them, it really helps. We're basically running this as a kind of like a grindy or mid-range deck, and we're not really going as hard into combos as we could be. That's just not how I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But it is you can play grindier ways of the deck. Like this is not the end-all be-all deck. And then we have a few extra slots, just spare slots in the deck. So here's where you'd run like your Ashes, your Impums, your other stuff, but that's up to just whatever your personal, like your local meta is. Next we're going to go into the extra deck. So this is up to personal preferences most of the time. There's Accesscode. He's good for ending the game. He's one of your main game enders. Every time I got him out, I could end the game. He's just busted. Apollousa, going for Apollousa. Then we're running Selene. Really helpful card. Extends combos and all that. When she enters the battlefield, you add a counter for each face-up spell and trap, and to each spell in your grave. So she helps because your pendulum scales count. and if you have any spell in your graveyard, which is a lot easier to do than you would think, she goes off. She can resurrect a spellcaster in grave, in defense position, which is fantastic. That's the combo with Dissolver I was talking about earlier. You pitch Dissolver with Ladyange, and then later you grab Dissolver with Selene, and then that'll let you fusion summon Vortex Dragon. Next is Knightmare Unicorn. Helps deal with problems, helps going second, all that sort of stuff. And it's also just a link 3 if you need another link 3, in case Selene gets interrupted and get destroyed before you can do things with it. One Beyond the Pendulum, because I don't know what to tell you. Everything in the extra deck's a one of. When it enters the battlefield, you pay 12,000 life points. No. You pay 1,200 life points. Search your deck for a pendulum card, and you add it to your hand, I believe. And then you can't activate effects until you pendulum summon, or until the end of the turn, whichever comes first. Usually you're gonna want to use her before you pendulum summon. I have used her after I pendulum summon sometimes, if I have enough to build up my board, then I just want to search for a second option, but I haven't had to do that in a while, mostly because of GranSolfacchord Musecia. So once put under in your main phase, you add a card from your main deck to your extra deck, and then you add a card from your extra deck to your hand, but they have to be an odd scale and an even scale. For example, I could add Sorcerer to my extra deck, but the card I add to my hand from my extra deck would have to be an even scale, because this is an odd scale. So, for example, Celestial Magician, more likely than not, the best bet, because we play for the long game, the best bet would be Harmonizing Magician. Because then you can get Harmonizing Magician into your hand more, because you cannot summon her from the extra deck. Cannot be done. It says in her card. So that helps, because once again, while you can OTK with the deck, you can build a decent board with it. We're going for the long game. We're going for the grind. And then we're going to go into the synchros. These are subjective. Enlightenment Paladin. When he's summoned, you fetch a spell from your graveyard. 2,500 attack. That's all I use him for. He could be Barone. That's fine. I don't have Barone in here because it's still in the mail. It is what it is. Then Ignister Prominence. Super helpful card. He gets rid of a lot of problems. You can pop your back row, bounce one of their cards. We like popping out back row, so he just kind of goes off. And then we have Nirvana High Paladin. It's a meme. It's a meme card, but also it helps OTK over things with access code in case you scuff it. And most of the hands I draw are big scuff hours, so if you scuff hard enough, the idea is that if you keep scuffing, it'll unscuff itself. I don't have any basis for this. You can replace it with literally replace it with Barone. No one will care. It'll be just fine. Next we have Petisil Coverture. I don't necessarily really know how to say the name of this card. She's your instant fusion target. That's all. Odd Eyes Vortex. On entry, bounces a card, and then it's a spell and trap negate once per turn. And then for your Exceeds, we have Time Star, a Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, and Baguska. Baguska comes up the least of these. Dweller, fantastic against grave matchups. If you don't play against a lot of them, then you don't need to worry about it. But at my locals, there's like Dark World and Synchrons and all that good stuff. So he kind of just gets you a free turn against those decks. Then Tornado Dragon just helps with back row. And then Time Star helps you search. So, and now we are going to go into a sample hand. Let me just shuffle here real quick. So, hopefully, I can avoid scuffing this up. We are going to be assuming turn 1. So, we're going to be trying to go for a going first play. Alrighty. Fantastic. Okay, so this would appear to be the brick. Basically, just Odd Eyes Magician. Pops, goes to extra deck. And then reset scale. I did not do a fantastic job of shuffling these. I'm going to set scale Oafdragon. And then we're going to set scale Black Fang. From this point, we're just going to Pendulum Summon. Then bring Wisdom Eye back. Pop those two off. GranSolfacchord. We have both an odd and an even in the extra deck, so it doesn't matter too much what we throw in here. But with that being said, I'm gonna grab a Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer, which means I have to add an odd scale to hand. So I will add Wisdom Eye back to hand. So this is what, this is the brick. So we can either go into Dweller or Baguska here with these two. Or we can just end on an Apollousa. Of course, Oafdragon adds a card from extra deck to hand. That could have been Astrograph, that's fine. We're just doing Pendulum Sorcerer. And this is with the brick. Literally just four cards that don't really start a. So. Right, and then let's do another hand. Why not, right? So, hopefully, I can get, like, a trap or, like, a spell. Probably not a trap. They don't really goldfish that well, but it would be, it is nice to get it in your opening hand. You never don't want to see it, even if you just get 2, because, things happen. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a certified monkey's paw maneuver, because I asked for a spell and we got called by the grave. So, first and foremost, set scale, cut and razor. Once per duel, special. Then we set Oafdragon to scale. Set Wisdom Eye to scale. Pop Wisdom Eye. Now we're looking for a high scale. Important to note, I don't think you can do it, but just in case, never put Joker there. We are going to throw Double Eye Magician now. Not Double Eye, Double Iris. He could literally be anyone. He could be Black Fang. It doesn't matter, so long as you get that scale. Alrighty, and then we're going to... Oh wait, Oafdragon effect. Add Wisdom Eye to hand. We're going to normal Wisdom Eye. And then we are going to link off into Beyond the Pendulum. Fighting for space here. Right, and then Beyond the Pendulum is going to search. It should be... Yeah, I just have to double check. So, we are going to grab a Pendulum Sorcerer. So, now we are going to Pendulum Summon. So, we are going to summon them here. Here. We're going to summon Cut and Razor and Sorcerer right there. And then, Harmonizing, we'll grab one out of deck. Now, Oafdragon's level 6, you can go into like a level 10 here, or you can grab level 4, go into like a level 8 Synchro, or go into another level 4. We're going to grab Oafdragon here. And then, because you Pendulum Summoned to get this out, this is able to activate. So, from this point, if you did have the one loop, you could go into Selene here, but we're just going to keep this simple. And we are going to... Oh, wait. I'm dumb. Pendulum Sorcerer is going to pop Double Iris and himself. Then you can search for 2 Pendulum cards in your deck. And that does, in fact, include your Pendulumgraph cards. So, we're going to grab Time Pendulumgraph. And... we are going to grab Star Pendulumgraph. I'm dumb. Double Iris adds the Pendulumgraph. Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer adds Performapals. So, because we get 2, add Dissolver and Ladyange. They are both Performapals. I'm doing a really bad job, I'm sorry. You're gonna pitch these to grave, draw a card. Doesn't really matter what you draw, so I'm just gonna hide them off camera here. Then you will It is presumed at some point in time you pop Called by the Grave on something, but just in case. No, that's fine. So you are going to go into Selene here. Actually, this is a bad time for Selene. We're gonna hold that and just go into Apollousa. Nothing wrong with Apollousa for 3. And then Oafdragon and Harmonizing. Ideally, because this is a going first, we are going to turn that into pretend that's Baron. Or I should throw it right here. Then you just set Time Pendulumgraph. If you didn't use Called by the Grave, set that. And then you are good to pass turn. Or if the card you drew was a scale, you can set it. Changes things a little bit, not too much. But, and it is important to note that Pendulums in Grave don't count as spells. They're just monsters for just, you know, for the Selene interaction. Alrighty. And I believe that's all. I'm sorry for scuffing the combo during the demonstration, during the sample hands and all that. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Later.